If you disappeared for 6 months, stopped replying to texts, stopped showing up to meetings, stopped posting online, would anyone actually notice? Or would life just continue? Most people never ask themselves this question because the answer terrifies them. Not because they think no one would care, but because deep down, they already know how long it would take before someone did. A week, maybe 2. Then silence. Because here's the truth nobody admits out loud. In modern American life, your presence is assumed, not valued. You're part of the background. You show up, you respond, you perform your role. And as long as you stay in that loop, people think you matter. But what happens when you stop? You'd think the people closest to you would reach out immediately, family, friends, coworkers. But if you're honest with yourself, you already know who would notice first. And it's probably not who you'd hope. Your boss might text after a few days, not because they miss you, but because something needs to get done. Your group chat would go quiet. Someone might ask, "Where's your name?" once, maybe twice. Then the conversation moves on. Your social media would flatline. No likes, no comments, and eventually people would assume you're just busy, or that you got off the grid, or that you're fine. Because everyone's too buried in their own survival to wonder about yours. So what does that tell you? It tells you that the life you're living right now is built on presence, not impact. You're visible, but you're not memorable. You're busy, but you're not building anything that lasts. And the uncomfortable part is, you already feel this. You feel it every time you finish a 60-hour week and realize nothing actually changed. You feel it when you post something online and it gets 3 likes from people who don't know your last name. You feel it when you sit in a room full of people and still feel completely alone. That feeling has a name: invisibility. Not the kind where people can't see you, the kind where they see you but they don't really see you. You're a function, a role, a response time. But here's the question most people never ask. What if you used that invisibility? What if instead of trying to fight for attention in a world that doesn't care, you just stepped away? Not forever, not dramatically, just long enough to rebuild in silence. Because here's what actually happens when you disappear. Nothing at first. People don't panic, they don't organize search parties, they adjust, life continues. The group chat replaces you, your job finds someone else, your social media feed keeps moving without you. And that realization, as brutal as it sounds, is the most freeing thing you'll ever experience. Because once you accept that the world doesn't stop when you step away, you stop performing for it. You stop needing validation from people who were never paying attention in the first place. But here's where it gets interesting. What do you actually do with that time? Most people romanticize disappearing. They imagine themselves in a cabin somewhere, journaling by candlelight, meditating at sunrise, becoming some enlightened version of themselves. That's not what happens. What happens is you sit with yourself, and for the first few weeks, maybe the first month, it's uncomfortable as hell. Because when you remove all the distractions, the notifications, the small talk, the endless errands, you're left with the one thing you've been avoiding. The truth about who you actually are right now. Not who you were 5 years ago, not who you want to be someday. Who you are today. And most people can't handle that, so they come back early. They rejoin the noise. They convince themselves they tried the whole disappearing thing and it just wasn't for them. But the ones who stay, they start to notice something strange. They notice that discipline doesn't need an audience. When nobody's watching, there's no one to perform for, no one to impress, no one to disappoint. You either do the work or you don't. And the version of you that emerges after 6 months of that, no shortcuts, no applause, no external validation, is someone you've never met before. That version doesn't need to prove anything, doesn't need to explain their process, doesn't need to post progress photos or motivational quotes. They just show up different, sharper, calmer, more certain. And here's the part that surprises people. When you come back, the world notices. Not because you announced your return, not because you told everyone how hard you worked, but because transformation is loud, even when you're quiet about it. People sense it immediately. The way you talk, the way you move, the way you handle situations that used to rattle you. You're not trying to be seen anymore, and that's exactly why people start seeing you. Because respect isn't built on presence, it's built on absence, on proving you don't need the room to validate you, on showing that your value doesn't depend on their attention. But here's the uncomfortable reality that no one talks about. Some people won't notice at all. The friends you thought were close, some of them won't reach out, not because they're bad people, but because your relationship was built on convenience, not connection. The coworkers who seemed supportive, they'll barely remember you were gone. And that hurts, it does. But it also clarifies everything. Because when you disappear, you don't just learn who cares, you learn who you care about. You learn which relationships are real and which were just routines. You learn which goals were yours and which were borrowed from people who never had your best interests in mind. You learn that most of what you thought mattered doesn't. And the things that do matter, you can suddenly see them clearly. But here's the final question, the one that separates people who think about this from people who actually do it. Are you willing to find out? Are you willing to step away, knowing some people won't follow, knowing some doors won't reopen, knowing that the life you come back to might look completely different from the one you left? Because 6 months from now, you'll either be the same person, still wondering if anyone would notice, or you'll be someone who doesn't need them to. So, if you disappeared for 6 months, would anyone care? Maybe, maybe not. But the real question is, would you? If this video made you pause for a second, if something in here felt uncomfortably familiar, then it wasn't an accident. It means you're paying attention. And if this kind of thinking motivates you, not hype, not noise, just real conversations about discipline, silence, and growth, then make sure you subscribe. Because this channel isn't about watching one video and feeling good. It's about coming back when motivation fades and reminding yourself why you started. If this video helped you think clearer, hit like. It tells the algorithm this message is worth spreading. And if you know someone who feels stuck, invisible, or underestimated, share this with them. Not to motivate them, but to remind them they're not alone in feeling this way. More videos like this are coming. Slow, intentional, built for people who are actually doing the work. So subscribe and stay focused. I'll see you in the next one.